Hi, and welcome to Living My Faith, where we spotlight those individuals that are really living for the kingdom. I'm James Fenimore, and today we've got a really special guest for you. In fact, we've got two. Joining me is Cara Ugolini and Jono Darville. Guys, how you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks, sir.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us. Guys, we start this show with one simple question. And Jono, I apologize, but we're chivalrous, so we're going to start with Cara. Cara, how are you living your faith?
I've been a minister for about the past 25 years, and then my own journey led me to understand more about the brain. And so I've become an executive neuro coach. So anyone interested in all three, mind, body, spirit, that's my lane.
That's amazing, and I know that's a great way to get connected to God when you really understand how it's affecting you in all aspects of your body, your mind, and your soul. Jono, you got the cheat code, so you know what's coming. How are you living your faith?
I think about living my faith kind of in two categories, one being the habits of devotion and the other being the habits of mission. And so with regard to the habits of devotion, living a life of prayer, scripture reading, and attending church. In terms of the habits of mission, and I think about those in terms of mercy ministry and the pursuit of justice, as well as evangelism. And the way that we're living out our faith now is we're about to plant a church in Pittsboro, North Carolina, called Living Hope Presbyterian. So we'll be church planting, which I'm very excited about. And in addition to that, I write regularly for outlets like the Gospel Coalition, as well as the Center for Faith and Culture, where I'm a fellow at the Center for at the Southeastern Seminary. And so I write regularly, and my first book's about to come out in October.
That's amazing. And now when you say planting the church, are you just involved in the process of planting the church, or are you going to be pastoring this church?
Yes, I am the church planting pastor. So I'm the lead pastor of this church, which will start next year.
Let's go. I love it. Congratulations. This is amazing news, spreading the gospel. I love it. And then, Cara, back to you. I'd like to really know, as a minister of 25 years, what led you to get into this new chapter?
Yeah, so it was really, I was about 10 years into my work as a minister. I felt like it was my calling. And then I hit my own wall, personally, professionally. I had just had a second child, and I stopped sleeping. Completely debilitating insomnia, tried everything to get to the bottom of it. And of course, this carried with it a bit of shame. Here I'm a minister, I should really be okay, right? I have everything I need. And yet when I look back, I think that was really God trying to take me deeper into understanding underlying patterns that were already there that I was just coping with, and I was coping around, and I was doing a good job coping with those. And then something about that second child just tipped those coping skills over. And I think God just wanted a deeper sort of healing for me. And so that's when I began really investigating, how are our minds and our bodies and our spirit made? How are they connected? And that is what led me on my own healing journey. And then I just got really excited about bringing that into ministry. And then fast forward some 15 years later, I happen to live in the Washington, D.C. area, and there's just a lot of high performance leaders, high stakes, government officials, military, and these are the people that I minister to on a regular basis. So I got really passionate about executive neuro coaching and getting into the underlying patterns there. So that's how I ended up here. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, it's a beautiful story. It's a lot like discipleship, right? Like once Christ enters our heart, we just through that overflow, we want to share it with everybody. And you found this amazing healing journey, and you wanted to share it with everybody. So it makes a lot of sense. Jono, now you planting a church, I gotta ask, what is that like? Just the whether it's joyfulness, pressure, stress, excitement, all of the above. What have you been going through in this process?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely all of the above. We're really excited about going into a community, and what does a fresh proclamation of the gospel look like in this particular community, and what will it look like to bring the power of the resurrection to bear so that the people, places and institutions of Pittsburgh are thriving in their God-given purposes. And so we as a team are just praying about that and thinking through, what does it look like? I mean, you look at the life of Paul, and he was consistently giving people two things: the gospel and himself. And so how can we love this community in that way, giving them ourselves and the gospel so that they become who God designed them to be? And so we're just thinking through those things now and really excited. And yes, it's a little stressful, but we trust that God is going before us and going to empower us to partner with him in the advancement and the enjoyment of his kingdom in this area.
That's beautiful. And when is the first Sunday?
So we will start meeting in our home this fall. And then once we reach 50 regular attenders, we'll start offering Sunday morning services sometime in the new year.
Incredible. I'm loving it. This is amazing. And we're going to be praying for you. And I really am excited for it. I love hearing about churches being planted, because it just means more people are going to be coming to the gospel. So thank you for your obedience there, Jono. I really appreciate it. And Cara, regarding your practice, do you work with people locally, or can you work with people all over the country, world? Do you do Zoom meetings, or is it mostly in person?
Mostly it's all over the world. I do meet with people here locally in the DC area, and I do speaking engagements, and I offer in-person sessions, full-day intensives for local people. But 80% of my clients are all over the world. And one of the things that actually what the other fellow just mentioned, I'm really passionate about too, is just this idea of helping people get back to their purpose-driven healing, right? If you were the version of yourself that God made you to be, and if you were healed of the things that hold you back, what would you do? What would you do in the world? And so I love that, the similarities there. And it is a form of ministry, right? People tend to identify with their profession in a way, I think, that hurts us, right? Like the first thing that people ask you when you meet them is, what do you do, right? That's just how we identify, which of course is not true. That's not who we really are, but Jesus met people where they were. And so I wanted to meet people where they were with that, but then help them at an identity level to heal. And what if who you are was the driver of what you do rather than the other way around? So yeah, I do that locally and anywhere.
It's beautiful. I love it. And Jono, Cara, thank you so much for joining me today. I want you both to know all your information is going to be right below this video. So if anybody wants to reach out to you, support the church, reach out to Cara, find that purpose. It's all going to be right below this video. I encourage you to do so. And thank you again so much for joining me. And thank you for living your faith.
Thanks, James. Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
God bless, guys. Thank you. On behalf of Jono and Cara, I'm James Fenimore. This has been Living My Faith, and I can't wait to see you next time.